The tourist grabbed the reins of the guard's horse, convinced that she could get away with anything. But the words of a veteran adorned with medals changed everything. What happened next would be remembered for a long time. Let's start from the beginning. The Tower of London is bathed in sunlight. Amid the bustling crowd of tourists scrambling for souvenirs and selfies, a royal guard stands tall and majestic. His scarlet uniform gleams as a reminder of unyielding tradition, and his stillness gives him an almost monumental presence. He is impeccably calm, yet his watchful eyes scan every movement in the crowd with precision. Among the tourists, a loud woman with a bright handbag and a smartphone stands out. Her companions are weighed down with cameras, but she acts as if the scene revolves entirely around her. "Hey, mister! Smile! You're working for us!" she shouts, her tone more commanding than requesting. The crowd begins to take notice. People turn their heads, anticipating a spectacle. Emboldened by the attention, the woman grows bolder. She steps closer to the guard, reaching out as if to touch his shoulder. A collective gasp ripples through the crowd, but the guard remains motionless, as though entirely unaffected. Only a faint tension in his fingers betrays that he feels the intrusion. "We're paying for the show. What's with the grumpiness?" she snaps, turning to her friends, who eagerly record the scene on their phones. Some in the crowd chuckle, egging her on, but an undercurrent of disapproval begins to rise. "That's disrespectful," someone murmurs, but the woman seems oblivious, hearing only herself. "I'll take a picture with this horse. It's going to blow up on Instagram," she exclaims, taking a step toward the horse. Her companions laugh approvingly, while the crowd starts to murmur uneasily. The guard remains motionless, his face stoic, but the tension in the air is palpable. The entire crowd holds its breath, waiting to see what will happen next. It's a moment charged with the clash of audacity and honor, modern irreverence and enduring tradition. "Climb on the horse! Take a picture!" shout the woman's companions. Her eyes light up with excitement. The attention of the crowd fuels her, casting her as the star of this improvised spectacle. She laughs, stepping closer to the horse. "I mean, it's not like I'm going to hurt it, right?" The guard notices her hand reaching toward the saddle. He steps forward, raising his hand in a commanding gesture that clearly says, "Stop." His authoritative motion serves as a reminder to the onlookers that he is not merely a prop, but a living symbol of honor. "What are you going to do? Arrest me?" she retorts, her voice cutting through the murmurs of disapproval in the crowd. She takes another step. This time, the guard decisively places himself between her and the horse. His voice, calm but firm, resonates. "Ma'am, this is prohibited." The woman hesitates for a brief moment, but the hesitation doesn't last. "Don't worry about it. You're just a tourist," her friends shout encouragingly. Emboldened, she does something that makes the crowd collectively hold its breath. She grabs the horse's reins. The atmosphere becomes electric with tension. Gasps ripple through the crowd, phones are raised to record the unfolding drama, and yet the guard remains a paragon of self-control. The woman, clearly pleased with herself, exudes confidence, as if she has won the exchange. But her brazen defiance has now crossed a line too visible to ignore, setting the stage for inevitable consequences. The tense silence is shattered by a loud, commanding voice. "How dare you treat the symbols of our country this way?" The crowd instinctively turns to see an elderly man adorned with medals on his chest. His proud posture and resolute gaze leave no doubt. This is a veteran, someone who has dedicated his life to defending the very traditions, now under threat. These men stand here to protect something you'll never understand. This is not your entertainment. It's our history. His words, filled with righteous anger and dignity, cut through the air, silencing even the woman's staunchest supporters. Her smug smile falters for a moment. Confused, she glances at her companions, but they too remain silent, unsure how to respond. The veteran locks eyes with her, his expression conveying not just disapproval, but deep hurt. Hurt for his country, for its symbols, and for the values they represent. The guard relaxes slightly, sensing the crowd is now firmly on his side. People begin murmuring their agreement, and a few even clap quietly in support of the veteran. But the woman doesn't back down. Clearing her throat, she tries to reclaim control of the situation. "History or not, we're here paying our money!" she exclaims, her voice loud and defiant, desperate to draw attention once more. This time, the guard steps forward. Towering over her, he meets her gaze with an intensity that makes her unconsciously step back. For the first time, he breaks protocol, speaking with calm authority. Traditions and culture cannot be bought. Respect is not a privilege, it's a choice. His words, resonating with quiet power, ripple through the crowd like a thunderclap. For a moment, everyone is still. Then the silence gives way to applause, cheers, and murmurs of approval. "Bravo!" The woman is visibly shaken, her confidence crumbling as the crowd shifts entirely against her. Her companions try to deflect attention, but it's too late. The moment is lost. The veteran, the guard, and the crowd stand united in their condemnation. For the first time, the woman no longer feels like the star of the show, but rather its cautionary tale. Bowing her head slightly, she turns her gaze away, humbled and silent. As if summoned from nowhere, security officers of the Tower of London appear. Their strides are confident but unhurried, their expressions calm yet firm. One of them addresses the woman. "Ma'am, please leave the premises." His tone is polite, but the authority in his voice leaves no room for debate. The woman frowns, clearly ready to argue, but the judgmental stares of the crowd silence her before she can begin. Her companions, sensing that their spectacle has turned into a public disgrace, start pulling her away. "Come on, let's go already," mutters one of them, awkwardly slipping his phone into his pocket. The murmurs of the crowd follow them like an unshakable shadow. "Serves her right," someone says in a low voice. Once they vanish from sight, the atmosphere shifts. The tension dissipates, and the crowd bursts into soft applause. People pull out their phones, already uploading videos of the guard standing stoic as a statue, while the veteran admonishes the tourist. Captions write themselves, "True dignity on display," and a lesson she won't forget. Meanwhile, the veteran steps toward the guard. He pauses for a moment, looking him directly in the eye, and speaks softly, but with immense sincerity. "Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do." The guard gives a subtle nod, his face remaining stoic, yet there's a faint shift in his expression. Perhaps it's pride, carefully concealed beneath the armor of discipline. Adjusting his bearskin hat, the guard turns sharply and resumes his post. Every movement is precise, deliberate, as if he has become one with the traditions he upholds. The crowd erupts into louder applause. People wave at him, some shouting, "Bravo!" Yet the guard remains unflinching. This is his duty, his tradition, and today he has proven its worth. By the end of the day, social media is flooded with videos and comments. "This is how you defend culture," writes one user. "He's a hero of our times," chime others. British honor and tradition have once again shown their resilience, leaving a powerful lesson for all who witnessed it.